Enra Special Prosecutor a press conference Kisi Ajabin provide update on the extradition of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori Atta. Now press conference what the SML and some ebetu scandal pan is involved Abusiafo nyasam kitakra at a point or we release over 500 million Ghana cedis was paid to SML abra who is omanya jumabia no trace of work done. Hey, ye de hon sam baby you dom e de ama nana janto TV mpacho share so ma me ye de hon sam ba click subscribe button mpacho click subscribe button am say we are bell notification icon no o better no say na be drop video na you be the first person to get a video where you will enjoy it wo hwe nyina no o be like it no comment no wa share na fofo so anya bi ahwe many person mkum ya be catch no enchara na janto de sukato man obetene nka on Ken Ofori Atta unse janto de Ken Ofori Atta wa kana asem free men's antene enya asem kitwa kra diom ene say Kisi Ajabin the special prosecutor enra anoye press conference no on two things: the extradition on former finance minister Ken Ofori Atta. Unim say bench warrant and arrest warrant ready. What dika issue that yeah Ken Ofori Atta isi amenu kasa oni Ghana hanum say yes o amanone nano ana extradition Interpol mu nyina bam or provide update here the whole some ebeba bayan shase on SML Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Abusiafo se SML wonti ya abranti be fe ne Manasa Zuri or investigative journalist sa investigation ya ekosi we di muntintima ye papa na obetro bibi to Facebook more like a summary of the SML deal no me ba be dom e de ama me read the statement na ma chirem e de aba your local dialect asantutwi no na de obere say Manasa Zuri ne posti we on Facebook 10 hours ago I say this man masterminded. In fact, this man now can asem Ken Ofori Atta because according to Kisi Ajabin, Ken Ofori Atta was pivotal in this particular deal. In fact, Omo describing as patron and all this, ekoso. Also, this man Ken Ofori Atta masterminded a dubious contract that said that SML Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited should have a fixed percentage of revenue from TNO. Fixed percentage, but percentage in the went man fan to but Omo percentage may fixed. Revenue from these sources. Number one, every liter of petroleum product you buy anywhere in the country, according to Manasa Zuri, the petroleum product be able to be every liter. SML benya fixed percentage from it. Number two, every barrel of oil Ghana produces. Hey! Number three, every ounce of gold Ghana produces. Number four, additional revenue from imported goods at the port and harbors of Ghana. Let's just here Ghana baby esikano yenye fia kase ni nyina SML. O menya percentage afi ho no mo. Hey, SML let's say jumaku asupa o. Also number one, every liter of petroleum, every barrel of oil Ghana produces, every ounce of gold Ghana produces, and the last one, additional revenue from imported goods at the ports and harbors of Ghana. But for our investigation, according to Manasa Zuri, that ensured that the 2023 consolidated contract did not take off. SML would have been entitled to over $500 million for the first 5 years. This contract was renewable for another 5 years. Hey! Not just say 2023 contract na take off no senke baswa and SML be entitled to $500 million. Yeah, it be renewed every 5 years. SML, which was contracted to perform the dubious auditing and revenue assurance services, is not licensed, according to Manasa Zuri, to perform the services according to the Institute of Chartered Accountants. Now, the company had no prior experience and lacked the capacity to perform the contract, for which reason the PPA denied approval on 3 separate occasions, but GRA pushed the deal through. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not for nothing that Kwesi Pratt Jr. said SML was the mother of all scandals in the scandal-ridden Akufo-Addo administration. Hey! Na enra OSP press conference na Abusiafo, and I will say, enche bia. The OSP will charge the following persons by the end of November 2025 in the SML deal. Also, some penyimfo nsia we by the end of November. This is next month ending no, you be charge womo. Number one, the first person you be charge no, Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta, former finance minister. Number two, NS Akore, served the cabinet to Ofori Atta. Number three, Emmanuel Kofi Inti, no a former commissioner general, GRA. Number four, Amishadai Awusu Amwa, former commissioner general, GRA. Number five, Isaac Crystal, general manager, SML. Isaac Crystal, general manager, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Also, no, so you be charging about the end of November. And the last person, Kwajo Damwa, ono so ye be charge no why MP for German South, member and a former commissioner customs division GRA. Abusafo yenko tie the special prosecutor Kisi Ajabin enwa expose or the buy on SML no na huge na nyasem kita ko ye ba update on Ken Ofori Atta extradition no ye de bebremo.
27 January 2017, Kenneth Ofori Atta assumed office as the Minister of Finance of Ghana. He would serve in this position till 14 February 2024. Barely 3 weeks after Mr. Ofori Atta's assumption of office, SMEL was incorporated. That is Strategic Monitoring. Where do the full name? Strategic Mobilization Entrepreneurship Limited. That was how it was incorporated first, SMEL, on 14 February 2017 by a timber merchant, Evans Edusei, with the company's stated principal activities as general trading and services and import and export of general goods. A little over 4 months after its incorporation, this company that had stated its services are trading services and import and export of general goods was presented to the PPA by the Commissioner General of the GRA, Emmanuel Kofinti, seeking approval to sole source SMEL as a service provider for enhanced classification, valuation, and risk management platform in the customs setup. These events, the assumption of office by Mr. Ofori Atta, the incorporation of SMEL by Mr. Edusei, and the application for sole sourcing of SMEL by seemed unrelated at first glance. However, a closer look at subsequent events from June 2017 to 14 February 2024, when Mr. Ofori Atta's tenure ended, show a tightly knit and non-coincidental association of the prior identified events as the precursors of a masterful and mischievously crafted scheme designed by Mr. Ofori Atta immediately upon assumption of office and throughout his tenure as the chief promoter, patron, and sponsor of the company, and the previously unseen power that unlawfully force-fed the company into the revenue assurance drive of GRA through a series of reckless decision-making and management and flagrant violation of statute through the use of public office for profit, contrary to Section 179C of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, and by directly and indirectly influencing the procurement process to obtain an unfair advantage in the award of procurement contracts to the company, contrary to Section 92(2)(b of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, with the pliant and avaricious and questioning compliance of 2 successive GRA Commissioner Generals, who he kept at a slavish subservience, leading to colossal financial. SML's invoices for payment were to be submitted not through West Blue, but directly to GRA. The only contractual obligation placed on GRA was that it should pay SML's fees directly to SML. West Blue had no compensation obligation to SML, its supposed subcontractor. Indeed, to all practical and legal purposes, SML was not performing any services for West Blue. SML's purported services were directly for GRA and not indirectly through West Blue. The specific contractual involvement of GRA in this at once clever and not so clever arrangement rendered it a sole source public procurement contract which required prior PPA approval. The major factual findings in the KPMG report tallied with our preliminary findings. Second, the KPMG report, much like our preliminary investigation, turned up more critical questions than answers, which required further investigation. Third, the KPMG audit's work and outcome differed significantly from the OSP investigation and likely outcome. Members of the press, while KPMG rightly identified the overall objective of its assignment as reviewing the work and activities of SML in relation to the contracts with the state and assessing the propriety of procurement and contracting processes as well as the appropriateness of cost-value analysis in the performance of the contracts, the OSP's work in this case is a criminal corruption and corruption-related investigation of not just assessing the propriety and appropriateness of acts and activities in the context of the SML contracts, but also examining the criminal culpability or otherwise of implicated persons, which is wider in scope and outlook than the audit work of KPMG. Then again, while the OSP's preliminary findings accorded with the major actual findings in the KPMG report, the OSP found itself unable to agree with some major conclusions drawn by KPMG, especially in respect of accountability and value for money. The OSP investigation was concluded on 3 October 2025 after extensive surveillance, comprehensive review, and analysis of hundreds of relevant and related documents at MOF, GRA, and PPA, and digital and electronic review and analysis of thousands of relevant related documents and computer servers and hard drive components retrieved from 2 premises of SML at Osu in Accra and in Tema, and assets of SML at relevant depots, and the discovery and validation of electronic communication among the persons of interest, especially as a good number of the public officers involved did not use their official email. The allegation is that the OSP will charge the following persons with various corruption and corruption-related offenses before the end of November 2025. 1. Kenneth Ofori Atta, former Minister of Finance. 2. Ernest Akori, chef de cabinet to Kenneth Ofori Atta as Minister of Finance. 3. Emmanuel Kofinti, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 4. Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 5. Isaac Krentzel, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and General Manager of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. 6. Kwejo Damwa, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and Member of Parliament for German South constituency. As part of the process, the OSP will seek to recover the financial loss caused to the Republic from the persons listed above. Also, the OSP will recover a total amount of 125 million cedis from SML by way of a disgorgement of unjust enrichment of overpayment by the return of the benefit of this amount it obtained unfairly at the expense of the Republic. This amount was arrived on 2 considerations. First, the participation of SML in the public revenue assurance regime was based on largely undeserved automatic payments detached from performance. Second, the figure was adjusted on a quantum meru basis. This is a legal doctrine that developed the English common law as a form of implied contract or quasi-contract to ensure that the person who conferred a benefit on another received compensation, even when no valid contract existed. The courts introduced the doctrine as an equitable remedy to prevent unjust enrichment, recognizing that fairness sometimes required payment even without an enforceable agreement. In the present context, the OSP configured the doctrine in respect of adjusting the fair value of the investments made by SML in pursuance of performing its obligations under the various contracts, even where the contracts were procured unlawfully and even where services were minimally performed or not performed at all, on the back of SML's reasonable expectations created under the various contracts which were awarded to it by high-ranking public officials who represented ostensible authority and statutory and regulatory compliance to that private company. The investments include the setting up and maintenance of 2 offices by SML, one in Accra and the other in Tema, the hiring of employees, the payment of the employees' salaries and attendant statutory payments, the acquisition of vehicles, the acquisition of and installation of ultrasonic meters and automatic tank gauges, and the procurement of a transaction value assessment system TVA.
Abusafo kisi ajabin the special prosecutor ana mote ne karafe yanko Ken Ofori Atta update no so Ken Ofori Atta obedu Ghana hanim say na abusafo meduri but OSP say wo hia no Ken Ofori Atta hey anya asem kitu akra o na de omni say Ken official of special prosecutor sorry Kisi Ajabin, Special Prosecutor, Enra Echechiremu, eti bi kuchie ne brofo ana me de abatwi ama o say steps before say obetumi extradite obi efriama no ne abagana hanim say steps also go through but me jumping in nyina because you know say wanya secure bench warrant, arrest warrant no, but the fourth one is submission of extradition packet to the Attorney General. According to the OSP, was say under the Ghanaian law, only the Attorney General can make or receive extradition request. The document OSP sends to the AG includes the following. Let's just say, OSP say, under Ghana Mrano, only the Attorney General and able to make a request of extradition of the Ghanaian. Yeah, what could the amonone into only the Attorney General. And according to OSP, no, or must any documents and I say evidence need be beer at their common Attorney General. Almost share action able to keep place. Now the next one, when this what the kaka say, or best any document and I come Attorney General and I request now come Attorney General because Attorney General any bit may issue request of extradition. No more question Attorney General. Attorney General be review, no affair will approve. We are normal follow up and coordination. Now to Ministry of Foreign Affairs Transmission Department and so abam na OSP remains in contact not just omone Ministry of Foreign Affairs egusu edi enkita home afi free one ma na kwakodi review by the US Department of State na fe judicial phase in the US so atwa so ye wi na notification and surrender what I say ansana Department of Justice review abam the last one execution decision. Let's say at this point and I feel the Ken Ofori Atta you bit my extradition amana bagana was say once the court satisfy datability, the final authority to surrender the fugitive lies with the U.S. Secretary of State. If approved, the Department of Justice and the Department of State coordinate with the U.S. Marshals Service and the Ghanaian Embassy to finalize transfer logistics. The fugitive is then surrendered to the OSP and typically at an agreed airport. Until they say, "Dia vimwom, Ken Ofori Atta, OSP and Sabekano." Document in the really on screen so no. But yemko OSP Kisi Ajabin update or by on Ken Ofori Atta extradition. Akwa kusi say yemko no.
We are once again drawing negative flag that we who put him on our list of wanted persons, that the OSP that declared him wanted, that the OSP that declared him a fugitive from justice, that the OSP that went to Interpol in record time of 48 hours and placed him on Interpol's red notice, we were stalling the case and that we were wasting time. But once again, as I said, we knew what we were doing and we knew what we were waiting for. And last week when the Attorney General addressed the media, he said something very poignant. He said, these financial investigations require time and patience. And we ask, give us that regard of time and patience, we will deliver the results we wanted like this. And as I said, before the expiration of November 2025, we will charge all these persons that I listed before the criminal courts. We will not stultify our own investigations. We will not delay our own investigations. We would do it right. We will be patient. We will be meticulous. We would have all the expertise in the world examine all, because we only have one shot at these criminal cases. We cannot go back, forth with it. And so, I announce to you, as we did by way of our press statement last week, that we are in full collaboration with the Attorney General's Department. We cannot work against each other. We are working for the same cause, which is the cause of the Republic of Ghana. And we cannot be at loggerheads. We cannot be in dispute. Sometimes personalities and how one wants to do something may clash a bit, but that should not be taken as dispute or disagreement.
Abujafo yɛda mo nyinaa asese mo hwɛ kwabena minti akando ne CEO ana oti omonka public accounts committee he clashes be equal so what you say one day abena was asare any Samuel Atamil's ranking any some members on the public accounts committee yɛda mo nyinaa asese mo hwɛ enkyena na kwadwo janto the Sokato man obetenenka on the Sokato show especially on this subject. But for now, me this video no enjoy. But you enjoy leave your comment. Why enjoy? Kwana say wo adwinchire bia. Leave your comment in the comment section. After we are not like it. Na wa share for so anya video ni bi ahwe. Me din e de Stephen Zando. Enche ye besa ehia. Ye da mu nyina asemu ni edi djuma. Ya kramo.